Hey guys, I'm Alan Neighbors and welcome to Top Dead Center. Now, modern motocross is hot young riders on high-tech bikes, but there are still plenty of vets thrashing around on their Bulls and Makos. It's called Vintage MX, and it's a blast. Thanks to Marlon Brando's movie classic, The Wild One, Hollister, California, and two-wheelers have been forever linked. And for the past decade and a half, the annual Hollister Vintage races have celebrated that motorcycle heritage.
That's what brings most of the guys out to vintage. Everybody's got some particular idea of what bike they want to ride. Not necessarily the most competitive, but what really turns them on, and or maybe something they wanted when they were younger that they couldn't afford, so now they buy it. That's why you see so many different kinds of bikes, and maybe one bike is in particular better for that class, but it doesn't matter because guys just want to go out and have a blast.
They come for the spirit of the ride. The riding is fair, not cutthroat because there's no money on the line. It's a real good place, and it's a good group that put it on.
Something just really special. These old motorcycles have a real soul. They're not sort of, and don't get me wrong, the modern bikes are just a technical marvel, but they're sort of all the same.
I tell people the racing is like third on my list of why I come down here. I like the bikes, the people hanging out. You get here early and sit around and tell stories for a day or so and have a good barbecue, sit around the fire. The next day you race, it's all for fun. We'll just get trophies, but it's still pretty competitive.
When I was a kid, this was the bike I wanted. I couldn't afford it. Now that I'm a little bit older, I'm over 40, I can afford it. So, in a way, I'm kind of reliving my life. And I love it. I just live for it. I saw the guys out here, old guys on old bikes, and I said, I got to do this again.
Hey, buddy, some of those old guys are former champions and race legends immersing themselves in times gone by.
I'm still in a time warp. These are the bikes I worked on when I was a teenager, and I'm still working on them.
We just come to hang out and reminisce about the old days when we raced for a living and made big money and talk about all the new guys and how money they're making and, all the stuff like that.
Seeing these legends out here, Dick Mann, Jim Pomeroy, Brad Lackey, the guys that were my heroes, now I'm lined up on the line next to them, I imagine they're probably just saying, just don't hurt me, kid,
Started up in the morning, smell the oil and the wind's all, and it's like coffee in the morning to the old races. After it takes them a while to get up until they start smelling that, then they feel like they're awake.
You can almost tell what kind of a motorcycle it is just by the sound. I couldn't do that with a modern bike. Maybe some people can, but they're all the same to me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sound. Like when you're racing it, sometimes you're listening to the sound of it, just thinking, man, it's fun. That's why I like my matchless. It's a 600cc single with a big exhaust pipe open, and even when you're racing, when you're doing good race, you still hear that pipe and it sounds good. A lot of guys shy away from racing any of these old English bikes because of the shifting pattern, because they do shift on the right, and most of them shift up for low gear, and then down for second, third, and fourth, which I think is convenient because on the start, once the gate drops, you can start pounding this thing down wide open, and it shifts almost like an automatic. The transmission works so smoothly. I had to go to the hospital once after starting to kick back so hard, and I thought I'd broken my leg, but they said it was just internal bleeding, so that was a good thing.
Back in the late 70s and early 80s, Brad Lackey was known for having fun. But that didn't stop him from becoming the first and only American to win the World 500cc motocross title in '82. Today, he can be found racing the expert class at a handful of vintage races a year.
Actually, the race gets in the way. We just come here for a party and hang out and swap stories and bullshit, drink beer, and, then we got to ride, to make it all look right. So we're just, the partying's all done Friday and Saturday. Now it's race day, so we're going to put in a couple motos and then have some more fun.
And on race day, Lackey was showing off his sweet new ride.
It's just a 74.5 GT 440 Mako, completely done right from the ground up, real strong motor, and all the refinements you need to ride around Vintage track and make it work good. It was already way ahead of its time in 1974, and now it's even further ahead of its time because the other bikes are beat up and old, and this one's like a brand new one. So it's a pretty good ride.
You wouldn't know these races were just for fun by the way these guys went at it in the expert class. Like he did so many times in Europe in the 1970s, Jim Pomeroy pulled away from the field on his Bull Taco for the 1-1 Moto Sweep. Meanwhile, Lackey had nothing but trouble with his makeup, taking a 4th and 5th place to end the day 5th overall.
We wouldn't want to give Pomeroy a run for his money. I had him in my sights. I was just ready to pass him the first moto when I started acting up. And then the second moto, we never would clean out, so I couldn't even get anywhere near the final pack. But we still had a good day. Nobody went home in the ambulance. We had fun. We're drinking beer now. So it's a good overall mini trip.
I'll bet even money Dick Man can still whip most guys with his 441 Victor. More vintage action from Hollister coming up.